Maybe Colbert converts again.
Outside to Clavell. Oh, on 20-footer. Goal! Bounce past the Duffy left hand.
CTV Sports!
Welcome back from Spring Break, Rams, and welcome back to CTV Sports. I'm Olivia Landis.
And I'm Brett Kennedy. March Madness has taken over the country, and I absolutely love it.
Me too, besides the fact that my bracket was busted on day one.
Hashtag Little Rock. The wild and magical season came to an end this past Saturday for the Colorado State women's basketball team. The 11th seeded Rams lost to the 6th seed University of South Florida in the first round of the NCAA tournament, 48-45. After getting a much-needed defensive stop with 19 seconds to play, the Rams had one last shot to tie the game. But freshman Sophie Triggedson's three-point try rimmed out as the time ran dry. CSU was absolutely shut down and had no answer for All-American guard Courtney Williams, who had 31 of the Bulls' 48 points. One bright spot for the Rams was Jamie Patrick, who led the team with 17 points and was 5 of 7 from three-point land. This is a disappointing end to an otherwise historic season for CSU. The team finished 31-2 and undefeated in Mountain West play, the second best record in school history. The Rams' .939 winning percentage was a school record. Rounding out some of the high points of the year was a buzzer-beater win over Colorado, 4 different Rams who won Mountain West Player of the Week, Ellen Neustrom, who won Mountain West Player of the Year, Coach Ryan Williams winning Conference Coach of the Year, and Neustrom, Jamie Patrick, along with Kiora Wary, making first-team All-Conference. The Rams also hold a new school record of 28 wins in a row, breaking the previous record of 25 from the 98-99 season. Colorado State also finally got over the hump and won the Mountain West Conference tournament, which gave Colorado State a berth into the big dance. Now, Liv, those are a lot of potential milestones.
Yeah.
Is there one that particularly stands out for you?
You know, all of these are so extraordinary, but I really do think that the fact that CSU has set a new record with their winning streak, and the fact that they beat Becky Hammond's team, 98-99 team, I think that stands out to me the most, and the fact that they won finally the Mountain West tournament.
Yeah.
That was their goal the entire year, and then to get into that NCAA tournament. So I think that's what stands out to me most.
Huge monumental milestone for this team. A couple milestones for the seniors who are going to be graduating. Ellen Neustrom had the school record for most assists in a season with 185, passing Becky Hammond. Jamie Patrick, another senior, had 57 made three-point shots in Mountain West Conference play, tying her for most ever. Patrick, Ellen Neustrom, Kiora Wary, Emily Hesseldale, and Alana Arias are going to be missed seniors this year. Yeah,
I mean, I think it's going to have a huge impact on the team, you know, just because seniors are naturally their leaders, you know, and especially this senior group this year. I think they really led the team. But, you know, I think this team has seen this before. I mean, they lost 2 really great seniors last year, and look at where they are now, you know. So I think that they're going to be able to bounce back from this. And the fact that this is a building program, I think that says a lot right there. Ryan Williams winning Mountain West Coach of the Year. I mean, he knows what he's doing, so I don't think it's going to be too big of a problem for this team.
I totally agree. Those are 4 great seniors, as you can see right there. But Ellen Neustrom, Hannah Taverdi, Sophie Triggetson, there's some players next year that are going to be able to carry the load, as you said, with Coach Ryan Williams running the helm. I'm not worried at all for the team next year.
Especially having, you know, that Mountain West Player of the Year, Ellen Neustrom. I think they're going to be okay.
Oh, of course.
Well, as March Madness continues throughout the week, the Colorado State men's basketball season does not. After what seemed to be one of the more difficult seasons, dealing with both injuries and tough personal situations, the Rams declined opportunities to play in both the College Basketball Invitational and the Vegas 16 postseason tournaments. Despite having lost in the semifinals of the 2016 Mountain West Men's Basketball Championship to Fresno State, CSU did not necessarily end its season on a sour note. With a win over San Jose State in the first round of the tournament and an upset with Boise State in the quarterfinals, the Rams went further in the tournament than predicted. Brett, you know, CSU finishes the season at 18-16, tying for 6th in the league. The Rams also saw the best 4-year period in Colorado State basketball history, stretching the school record to 87 games won over the last 4 seasons. Brett, excuse me for that little mess up there, but this team, this Colorado State men's basketball team, they did get a little bit lucky going into this Mountain West tournament, getting that 6th seed, and they went a lot further than people thought. They made it to the semifinals. I mean, what do you have to say about that Fresno State loss?
They got a quality win over a team in Boise State that a lot of people did not expect CSU to win that game. And then in the Fresno State game, they did not have Emmanuel Mogo play because of injury. That's a player who had 8 double-doubles on the season. Huge cog to this team who didn't play. The team was able to rebound and was really able to respond with what they were given. I'm not mad at all that they ended the season the way they did.
I'd have to agree with you on that one. They really did respond to the circumstances that they were given. And, despite having that shooting drought against Fresno State, I mean, they did shoot the worst that they had seen in the Mountain West tournament. But, they dealt with what they had. And I think having Emmanuel Mogbo out, like you said, a player that had 8 double-doubles this year, and Coach Eustace did say he bases this team's play off of defense and rebounding. And obviously, Emmanuel Mogbo was a huge part of that, but they did good for what they had.
And plus, earlier in the year, Gian Clavel did go down because of injury. One of the team's top scorers. The team was able to rebound, throw Antoine Scott into the lineup, and the team was able to do all right.
Yeah, well, speaking of seniors, Joe Desmond, Teal Daniels, Fred Richardson III, and Antoine Scott also say goodbye to this basketball program as they head out CSU this year for graduation. Brett, these are pretty big CSU seniors here. What do you think this team is going to be like next year?
Gian Clavel is also a senior as well. I see the team struggling next year, to be honest with you. Joe Desmond is a huge, high-quality player that can get the team fired up from big plays. Teal Daniels is a guy that can get offensive and defensive boards all over the place. It's going to be hard to replace guys like that. And Antoine Scott, such a huge player, winning 2nd team All-Mountain West, and he only started half the season.
Yeah, Antoine Scott really came in clutch for this team this year, averaging 17.6 points in Mountain West play per game for the Rams. So, I mean, he was a huge player. As well as Joe Desmond, the most winningest player in CSU history. So I think this is going to have an impact on the men's team. It's a little bit different story than we see for the women's, but we'll have to see how it goes.
There's a couple good players coming back next year. J.D. Page, J.D. Page, let's see, John Gillen and Emmanuel Mogbo. Time to base the offense around those players. I just don't see it happening. So.
Well, since the season is over for men's and women's basketball, we thought it's time to take a trip down memory lane.
It's time for our plays of the year from the men's and women's basketball teams.
We'll start things off with the men's team. And this play of the year comes from senior Joe Desmond against Nevada with the huge dunk. Brett, this was clutch.
In slow motion right here, Liv. I believe I can fly. What a great play from the senior.
Yeah, Joe Desmond really showed through this season. So, I mean, of course, it's only fair to give it to him.
I would say so. What a great play. But I've got an even better one. I'm a bigger fan of buzzer beaters. Let's go to the women's basketball play of the year, as we can see right here. It was a huge game-winning shot by Ellen Neustrom to beat CU early in the year. Liv, what a play.
Swish, McSwish a lot. And that is our Mountain West Player of the Year right there. I mean, Brett, just to describe to people how the energy and how it was like to be in Moby Arena when Neustrom made that shot. It was absolutely incredible. I think that one was well-deserved.
That was probably the loudest I've heard Moby Arena all year for the women's team. Got the team fired up because then they had their win streak a couple games right after that.
Oh,
it's nice to get a quality win like that over a huge big-time opponent like CU.
Well, what a year it was for CSU basketball.
It sure was a lot of fun, to be sure, but we'll be back to talk CSU football's Pro Day and the NCAA tournament.
Tune in to KCSU, your student-run radio station at Colorado State University. Live 24 hours a day, every day at 90.5 FM and kcsufm.com. Live local new music now, and news, talk, and sports. KCSU, the radio voice of Colorado State, on the air since 1964.
You're watching CTV, produced by Colorado State University students, bringing you news, weather, sports, and entertainment from campus and beyond. CTV live Monday through Thursday at 7 p.m. on campus and Fort Collins on Channel 11. Repeats at midnight, 8 a.m., noon, and 2 p.m.
The Rocky Mountain Collegian is your student-run news and information platform. Pick up your paper on campus or around Fort Collins Monday through Thursday with special editions Fridays. And check out collegian.com anytime for all the latest updates. News, sports, entertainment, opinion, and more. The Rocky Mountain Collegian, serving Colorado State since 1891.
College Avenue has been your student magazine for the last 10 years. College Avenue prints once a month covering topics that are relevant to the CSU and Fort Collins community. We also print special editions like the graduation guides at the end of each semester, the best of CSU each fall, and the orientation guide each summer. Look for us on racks around campus, off campus, or online at collegian.com under the College Avenue tab.
On March 9th, the Colorado State football team hosted its annual Pro Day. In all, 27 NFL scouts and 4 coaches representing 29 teams were given the opportunity to watch 15 former Rams show what they could do. The player everyone kept an eye on was receiver Rashard Higgins, who performed at the NFL Combine. Higgins ran a 4.55 40-yard dash, slightly faster than the one he ran in Indianapolis. One of the most impressive all-around showings was linebacker Corey James, who had a standing broad jump of 10 feet 7 inches, a vertical jump of 35 inches, and a 40 time of 4.57. Martavius Foster led all participants with 24 reps on the bench press. With Pro Day over, now the players can focus on training, talking to NFL teams, and wait for the NFL draft starting on April 28th. CSU is one of 15 schools nationally to have 2 players selected in the first 3 rounds of the draft in the last 2 seasons. Here's what Higgins had to say about what a team will get from whoever selects him in the draft.
Man, they're getting a playmaker. They're getting a guy that can make the catch in tough situations. The third down guy, you can always go to me. I mean, you know, I take pride in catching the ball. I don't drop a lot of passes. So, I mean, they getting Hollywood, man.
The CC softball team closed the deal on Princeton this past Sunday for a 3-1 victory in the last day of the San Diego State Classic 2. Pitcher Holly Ranke led the Rams while throwing a complete game and allowed only 1 earned run. CC has won its last 7 out of 8 games and escapes the tournament this weekend with a 4-1 record. Savannah Clark picked up another home run on the season as she smacked one out to right center at the bottom of the 2nd inning, putting the Rams up 2-0 early on. Princeton was never able to recover when the Rams got the lead. Up next, Colorado State opens Mountain West play with a 3-game home series against San Jose State starting Thursday at Ram Field. The CC women's golf team headed home in 9th place at Mountain View Collegiate in Tucson, Arizona this past Saturday. Colorado State freshman golfer Katrina Prendergast ended with her highest ever finish at the tournament, tying for 5th place out of 85 participants. To give a little glimpse of how CSU performed, it carded a 24 over 888 compared to first place finisher Georgia, who carded a 5 under 859. The Rams end the regular season April 8th through the 9th in Lubbock, Texas for the Red Raider Invitational.
The Colorado State men's golf team finished in 7th place in the 2-day Desert Shootout Tournament in Goodyear, Arizona this past weekend. Individually leading the way for the Rams was junior Jimmy McCloskey, who had his 4th straight under par round, finishing 9 under, good enough to be tied for 10th place. It was his 5th top 20 finish of the season. Up next for Colorado State is the 3-day Goodwin Tournament starting this Thursday in Palo Alto, California. Well, the Sweet 16 begins on Thursday, and if you're just like us, you can't wait for the next couple of days.
Well, that's why we're talking the NCAA tournament right now.
Let's take a look in the first bracket here in the South. Liv, who do you have winning these teams?
You know, this is a pretty tough bracket, but I'm going to have Kansas winning here out of the South. I mean, Miami's done pretty good. They've done a lot better than I thought, but I think it's going to be Kansas. I'm
going to pick KU in that one too. They're too strong of a team. And in the other game, I have Miami beating Villanova.
Do you really?
I do. Who do you have?
No, I actually have Miami as well. I think Miami has been doing really great, and like I said, they've been doing a lot better than expected, so I'm going to go with, they're not really an underdog, but I mean, they are seated lower, so I'm going to go with Miami on this one.
This is pretty far for Villanova. They usually don't make it this far. All right, the next bracket here. Liv, who do you have in these games?
Oklahoma, for sure. I mean, Oklahoma is who I'm going to go with overall, but I mean, did you see the game with Texas A&M and Iowa State last night? I mean, double overtime. It was an incredible game, so I mean, this one's going to be tough, but I think Oklahoma is going to probably be facing Duke.
I would say that too. I'm going to have Oklahoma with Buddy Hield beating Texas A&M, and I'm going to have Duke led by Marshall Plumlee and Grayson Allen beating #1 seeded Oregon in an upset.
All right, let's take a look at the next one. Well, now we have best in the East, and who do you have for this one, Brett?
I'm going to go with North Carolina in the top game, Liv. They're just too strong of a team. Marcus Page is a great player. Coach K knows how to lead this team deep into the tournament. I have North Carolina winning that first one. And then in the second one, I'm picking Wisconsin. They had a huge comeback, or they had a huge buzzer beater over #2 Xavier. Bronson Koenig, what a shot. Nigel Hayes is a veteran there.
Yeah, and you know what? Wisconsin was in the championship last year. Sadly, they did lose that one, but you know what? I mean, they have such a great team. It's continuing on, so I'm going to have them winning this one, and I'm going to say Indiana. They're going to face Indiana in this next one. I mean, Indiana did defeat Kentucky. They knocked them out of the bracket, so that's who I'm going to go with on that one.
Good pick there. Who do you have in these matchups, Liv?
I mean, this one's a little bit tougher. Virginia has been, so consistent all season, and they've been a really tough match for every team that's faced them so far. So I'm going to have Virginia, and I'm going to go with Gonzaga on this one.
Really? I'm going to have Virginia beating Iowa State in that top game, and then I'm picking Syracuse in that bottom one. Syracuse is on a straight-up roll right now. Coach Jim Boeheim, one of the best coaches in college basketball. I picked Syracuse winning that one. But the big question is, what's your Final Four going to be?
Well, Brett, my Final Four is going to be Oklahoma. I believe we have a bracket here. We're going to look at here. We're going to have Kansas and Oklahoma facing Oklahoma, and then we're going to have Indiana facing Virginia. But like I said earlier, I'm going to have Oklahoma winning it all. I mean, Buddy Hield, he's just unstoppable. He won National Player of the Year. That game against VCU, he scored 36 points. I mean, we heard some players talking trash to him on the VCU team. You know, he only put up, I believe it was 7 points in that first half, came back with 29 points in that second half. I think he's unstoppable. I really do.
Buddy is an absolute stud. Those are some agreeable picks, but let's see what my Final Four is going to be. I have Kansas playing Oklahoma. That's going to be a great game. Can't wait for that one if that game happens. And then Wisconsin playing Virginia. And then I have Kansas playing Virginia in the national championship game. Kansas is too strong of a team. Wayne Selden, his huge dunk from a couple games ago was absolutely spectacular. Perry Ellis, senior, he seems like that dude's been there forever. Coach Bill Self is a great coach. I pick KU.
Yeah, you know what? I'd have to say this has been probably one of the most exciting starting weekends to NCAA tournament history. I mean, that is why they call it March Madness. So I'm super excited to see how this unfolds. And you know what? I'm going to bet that Oklahoma takes it. So
all right,
I got you on that one.
I guess we'll see what happens. Great time of the year to be a sports fan, that's for sure.
Well, if you follow our sports producer Travis Green on Twitter, you've likely seen his videos combining the Damn Daniel craze with CSU men's basketball Teal Daniels dunks.
Well,
Damn Daniels. Damn Daniels. Damn Daniels. Back at it again. Thirsty, man. Damn Daniels. Damn Daniels.